Hey there guys, how's it going? Thanks for checking out this video. I want to start this one off by saying sorry there's been no uploads in a few days. I've been a little bit short on ideas, or to take some time out to think about possible things for the channel, where it's going, and obviously take a little bit of personal time. Hope you guys don't mind that, and I can appreciate that everyone needs a little bit of that every now and then, but it doesn't happen very often. Those of you who subscribe for a long time know it doesn't happen very often. Anyway, what do I want to talk about today? Well, obviously you can tell from the title, I want to talk about PvP in Ark Survival Evolved. I think at the moment the PvP in Ark Survival Evolved outside of SOTF is just a little bit of a mess, and it needs readdressing, it needs balancing, it needs reinvigorating with a lot of new ideas to make it interesting, fun, addictive, relatively fair and balanced. And I've got a few ideas that I'd like to discuss with you guys. Now, before we go into this, first of all, I have got some new Ark themed T-shirts available. These are available for just 2 weeks. I decided to come out with these just before Christmas. So if any of you wanted to give yourself or a family member a little Christmas present, anyway, something Ark themed, an Ark themed T-shirt, I know there's not that many going around. You've got this JX23 T-Rex with the logo on. Looks pretty fancy in my opinion. Check that out. Link in the description below. Also, let's take this opportunity for those of us who like PvP in Ark to let the devs know we want to see survival of the fittest on consoles. Now, during their recent 24-hour charity stream, they said, oh, maybe we'll do SOTF on console. We're not really sure if it would be too wanted, and I can understand why. The PC community for SOTF isn't very large. It's a very small community, so to take a lot of effort to transfer that over to a console doesn't really seem right from a dev's point of view. Let's make a stance, let them know. I'm going to put a click to tweet in the description of the video. Everyone here who wants to see or would like to see survival of the fittest on consoles, go and retweet that tweet. Go make your own tweet. Tweet at the guys that I've mentioned, Jeremy, Jack, Jen, and whoever else is in the Ark Survival Evolved Dead team, and let them know we want to see it. Strength in numbers, guys. You're not going to be harassing them or anything. Just let them know in a nice way you would like to see it and you would love to play it and try it out. That will encourage them to do so, and it would give us another thing to play on consoles, and that would be absolutely great for Ark in general. So this is actually going to be split into 2 separate videos. I did make this one long video, but I've got so many ideas. I'm so passionate about the topic that it went on for over 20 minutes, and it was way too much to take in for one video. So we're just going to talk about roughly half of the things that I'd like to see and the ideas that I've got. Some of these ideas are like really out there, not very easy to achieve, will be fun. Other ideas are things that could be quite easily implemented, but I think it's good to include all the different kinds of scopes and scales of ideas to just really do a bit of a brainstorm and get us thinking about it. Of course, let me know in the description, in the comments section even, your opinions on these and your own ideas for PvP. So first of all, let's start off with something I know a lot of you guys know I really enjoy, and that is extinction servers, official extinction servers. For me, this is the future of Ark PvP on official. All of the unofficial PvP servers that are very popular, people only play them for a few weeks. Most people in PvP, they only play for 2 weeks to a month before they get wiped or they get bored, and it's very hard to be excited about being on a PvP server for longer than a month anyway. If you think about it, if you're on there for a month, you most likely are one of the alphas, or if not the alpha, and all of the stories I hear from alpha tribes on official servers is they got bored. There was no one to fight against. When people did come along, they had to wipe them out to defend everything, and then again they're just left bored and they're basically playing PvE servers. To have some kind of thing where you know you don't have to worry about keeping everything forever makes things a lot more disposable. I love the higher gather rates and so on, and higher taming of official servers. I'd like to see more of that. I'd even like to see some official servers which are absolutely crazy settings. Let's go for 10 times XP. Let's go for 10 times taming. It would be a lot of fun. People would enjoy it, and it would give a fresh feel to some of the PvP. Now, not only obviously do I quite enjoy extinction servers, I think they give everyone a fair chance, it's more like the kind of PvP I want, but how about having some more objectives? How about having a more dynamic extinction server? Just an idea. It's a bit of an ambitious one, but what about something like that everyone could work together for? How about at the end of it, or you can build up to building something to deflect the meteor and save the world. Maybe it could be something that would give you an achievement, a new dino skin, a new hat skin. So instead of just having your normal tech, possibly at the highest levels, there's also something that you can unlock that would deflect the meteor and save the world. And maybe it could be something where all of the tribes on the server could work together towards it. Maybe it could be something that could be built at the obelisk by everyone and everyone could add towards it. Maybe even just individual tribes could try and do it. And at the end of it, if you manage to save the extinction world, possibly it goes on for another week or so. Maybe it goes on for another 7 days. Not forever, because I think that kind of spoils the point of extinction, but that would just be something cool. Just an objective for people to work around, or even the other way around. How about in extinction servers, there's also something to work towards that would actually wipe the server apart from your tribe, that would basically say, we won this season's extinction. Because at the moment, there's no objective. Like, obviously, you can be the alpha and you can be the strongest, but even in times where we've been the alpha tribe at the end, we get very bored, and in the end we just end up either letting people build up so they can fight us properly, or we end up just not playing for the last week. How about something that says we won extinction? It could be building something, maybe even another crazy idea. I know I've gone off a tangent, but I have a lot of ideas here. Maybe even you could build a super robot Mega T-Rex in extinction servers, and you had to do lots of different things to get this. You had to get a few of the artifacts. You have to get a certain amount of this material, that material, things that are achievable, nothing too crazy, but that just take a bit of a grind and are a little bit of a side task. And then if all the tribes that have managed to get all the stuff to build this mega super T-Rex, just an idea, it could be anything, a spaceship, a weapon, whatever, maybe then everyone who has managed to get to that point for the last week of the server, they all battle it out with these super dinos or stuff like that, you know. And say for example you can't bring in this super weapon or super dino until the last week, and then all of the tribes that have managed to get to that point can bring them in, everyone else gets kicked off the server, and it's just an absolute rampage for the last week. Again, just a fun idea. Another couple of fun ideas for extinction servers. Dynamic events. Obviously, dynamic events are something that are in other games. Why not have it so all of a sudden things just appear out of nowhere? Like little mini bosses appear, little mini NPC armies appear that people can fight, and if they fight them, they take them on. I remember back in DayZ, you used to have crashed helicopter sites with NPCs around, and if you battled it out at that NPC zone, then you could have the really good loot that was inside. But also, not only was that the challenge in itself, but it would attract lots of other tribes, and it would encourage open world PvP, which I think is the most fun in Ark. I like base raids, I like defending bases, but the open world PvP aspect is much more fun in my opinion, because no side really has the bigger advantage, because they're not at their spawn point, they're not at their base, and so on. So just some ideas there to encourage extinction, to make extinction better. I think would be a great idea to give us some other PvP, other than everyone just saying, you know, let's get SOTF, as much as I do want to see that as well. So, moving on to some more basic things, just in the PvP as it is right now, that I think could be changed. Now, Swamp Fever is something that I understand why they would try and have something like that in the game, but I just think it's annoying. It should be taken out. Almost every private server I know doesn't have Swamp Fever in. All it is something that allows people who have no hope, haven't worked at all, to annoy people who are trying to play the game, who have grinded, and people who just are doing well. And anything that really punishes people that are doing well through no fault of their own is something that most people don't like in PvP games. It's just not something that's fun to experience. So how about, okay, you want to be a biological warfare troll, why not make it a bit more difficult? Why not make it so that you have to craft a certain type of blood pack, maybe available at level 40, so you have to have grinded a bit to get it, and then the only way to infect people is to knock them unconscious and then maybe feed them this blood pack, or maybe you have to knock out one of their dinos and feed it to the dino, and then that will spread the disease. Not just running up to someone with a club, not just running around 50 people with swamp fever on the coast. That's just silly. It's not fun. Let's make it something you can work towards, and sure, if you want biological warfare, fine, work towards it. Just a possible idea, making swamp fever more difficult to transfer. Now, next up, probably one of the biggest annoyances in PvP is the whole clubs and bowlers thing. Personally, I think it's an absolute joke. I don't think that clubs should knock people out, and I don't think that melee damage should scale with torpor damage for clubs as well. I think that's absolutely stupid. Doesn't make any sense in terms of any kinds of balanced PvP. Put it this way, I've played in, what, 5 or 6 seasons, maybe more of Extinction now. I've also played tens of seasons in Tribe Warfare, a massive PvP server, and when it comes to official Extinction, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've died from either a gunfight or a proper bow fight, something like that, and I've killed lots of people with bows and guns. It's my go-to because I think it's fun. However, the amount of times I've been killed by a club or being knocked out is ridiculous. So it's just too easy to go to, and it needs some addressing. Now, there's a couple of ways you could address this. My favourite idea really is that any armour from kiting or above stops torpor damage from clubs. It just makes sense. You've managed to get to a level where you can get kiting armour and flak armour. You should have the counter to something that is so easy to make, like a club. There's already a counter to bows, for example. Bows are a very easy, low-level thing to get, and obviously the counter to them is making good armour. Kiting and flak is very useful against bows and arrows, which is a low-level weapon to get. Another low-level weapon is clubs. So why shouldn't kiting and better armor be a combatant to that? I don't understand it. Also, I don't think you should be able to bowler people in kited or better. And if you can, it only lasts for a few seconds. So that's one possible way. Straight away, completely removes that whole trolley aspect and puts it back to, okay, you want to mess around, you want to PvP, you've got to do it properly, you've got to have proper fights. Let's forget about clubs. Obviously, another way to do it would be to give a passive strength stat to people, so as you level up, your resistance to clubs and so on is higher. Now, I know you already have fortitude, and that does work to a point, but fortitude, you have to put a lot of points in to make it even mildly effective. For example, I put 60 points into fortitude to check it, and one of my tribe mates was able to knock me out with 2 hits of a club still. So fortitude is not really the answer at the moment. Also, I don't think on PvP servers melee damage should scale again in PvP situations. So for example, you can get your melee up to 200%, that's fine, but I think against players it should stay at 100% no matter what, and the 200% should only be effective for gathering and for actually being against dinos, PvE. Doesn't make sense for a melee to be so strong in a PvP game. I mean, all of these things I'm saying here are basically things that are evolved around the whole idea that someone who's super low level should not be able to combat someone who's high level, because otherwise it takes out that whole idea. Now, they can combat them, there are still ways to raid them sneakily, there are still ways to get the advantage, but at least put a little bit of effort in to be able to compete on the same sort of scale, because I can see how they would put these things in to let the lower level people get involved. But let's be honest, it doesn't take long to get to the point where you've got guns. It doesn't take long at all, especially on ×2 XP servers. So let's make it a little bit about at least getting to that point, and let's see more gunfights, let's see more base raids, let's see more stuff like that, rather than relying on the very, very cheap tactics of bowlers and clubs, in my opinion. Also, I don't think bowlers should be as strong on some dinos. I mean, pteranodons are way too easy to tame now. Anyone super low level can just tame a pteranodon super easy with a bowler. I just think it's a little bit unbalanced. Also, saber-tooths and direwolves I don't think share bowlers. That's another subject I'm waffling on in this commentary way more than I wanted to, but like I say, I've got a lot of ideas. So moving on to next things. Gas mask is something that is in PvP, but I don't ever see it used, and it's something that could be a lot of fun to use when raiding and good fun to counter. So gas mask at the moment is a very, very high level unlock, and it's very difficult to unlock. Why not make the gas mask a lot lower, maybe level 50, level 60? Why not make it easier to craft? It's not as if the gas mask is a particularly strong thing and will win you some crazy PvP fight. It's got very low armor, and the current only real usage that people use is to go into caves. Now, I know another counter to that is narco grenades, but no one does narco grenades when raiding because no one actually has gas masks, and no one bothers doing that whole strategy. So how about gas mask is lower, narco grenades will then maybe start to be used, and also people will actually carry around a gas mask. It's a cool thing. It's something that you'll have another thing to be aware of. Now, I know you might say, okay, so we're going to get these raids, people just throw in all of the narco grenades and then everyone's going to be knocked out. It's going to be a super easy raid. How about in the tech tier or somewhere up the line, you can build something in your base that counters narco grenades, like a sprinkler system, for example, or something like that, or a air conditioner system that just pushes out all of the narco grenade gas and then keeps your inside absolutely fine. So again, it'll be another counter, another cool thing to having raiding that you would have to think about that could be countered. Just something I'd like to see. For example, there's lots of things like that that just aren't used in PvP battles that I would like to see used. Now, the final thing I'm going to mention here, because I do have one other big idea that I think is a super fun idea and at least worth considering, but I'll have to mention that in another video because it will go on for a long time. And that's the ability to somehow surrender to another tribe or give your stuff to another tribe without allying with them. Now, one thing I see a lot in Ark PvP, people raiding bases and just completely wiping the other tribe, even though the other tribe is like, you know, we give up, we surrender, you know, we haven't got a chance anymore, it's fine, just raid us. There's no real opportunity for them to do some kind of trade-off. It would be cool if there was some kind of surrender negotiation that you could do with a rival tribe. Perhaps you could stop raiding them and they would become aligned, but half of the resources or half of the XP that was gathered would be given to the tribe who actually successfully won the raid. Or maybe the people who successfully are raiding could get more XP than the people who lost the raid. Maybe the people who lost the raid could lose 20 levels or something like that, as long as they surrender and so on. So I'd like to see some kind of negotiation to losing a battle or giving something to a tribe that's doing very well, just to encourage people not to completely wipe other tribes and to be able to keep the other tribes on the server. There's still something in it for them, but yet the other tribe also gets something that they want as well. You know, they get all the stuff they want. So some negotiating terms with other tribes would be something that's cool, and I think would stop people getting completely Stone Age. Not stop it, but, you know, at least give us another option and maybe keep more people active once they have been wiped out. Maybe give them some kind of other objective. Maybe after that they can only farm or something like that, but they have to farm for the other tribe. Whatever, there's loads and loads of different ideas. Let me know in the comment section down below. So that's it for this video. Like I said, it went on for a while. The next video is going to be a similar length, and the next one I have loads and loads of ideas. Before we wind up, don't forget to smash the like button if you did enjoy this commentary. You thought I had some interesting ideas, or you've got some cool ideas of your own, let me know, of course. I've got my t-shirts for sale, link in the description, Ark Themed T-Shirts. Of course, join the conversation on Discord. My Discord channel is also in the description of the video. Come join us there over the Discord, discuss Ark, discuss any games you want, just hang out with us all, hang out with the Boy Star Me, get involved in the community. And of course I've got the link to click to tweet the Ark devs if you do like any of these ideas and you'd like them to see this video. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.